Mikelina Lewandowska, the girl buried alive, and Martin Kasperczak. This young couple was headed for a breakup. The birth of a baby only exacerbated the problems of an already shaky relationship. Martin started missing days at the gym, coming home only when Mikelina and the baby were already asleep. Mikelina had to take care of the household and raise the child on her own. On the background of this increased quarrels, in the course of which Martin mocked at Mikelina, saying that she had neglected herself, became boring and dull, compared her with girls from the gym, of course, not in her favor. Mikelina would have been happy to leave him, but the thought instilled in thousands of women around the world haunted her. A child should have a complete family. It is impossible that the baby grows up without a father. Unlike Mikelina, her chosen one was not burdened by the agony of choice or conscience. In 2011, rage and hatred for the once beloved and desirable Mikelina overshadowed Martin's head. He began to think over a plan how he could get rid of the shameful beloved and take his son. On May 28, 2011, Martin Kasperczak accompanied his parents to the hypermarket, handing them his grandson and asking them to take him for a walk, and attacked Mikelina himself. He knocked her out with a stun gun and called his buddy, 18-year-old Patrick Boris. Together, they tied Mikelina up with duct tape and taped her mouth shut, then put her in a cardboard box and drove her to the woods, where they dug a hole and dumped the box there. Then they threw the box into the woods, where they dug a hole and threw it into the hole. It must be said that Martin's hatred for Mikelina became so strong that while digging the grave of his former lover, he shouted curses against her and rejoiced aloud that little Jakub would never see his mother again, or even know about her. It was these screams that caused Mikelina to wake up. Once she came to, she couldn't even scream. Her mouth was gagged and her throat was constricted with terror. The only thing she was thinking about at that moment was her 3-year-old son, Jakub, who could not be left alone with such a father. However, Mikelina Lewandowska's situation was quite deplorable. She was bound and could not speak, and soon she would not be able to breathe. While thinking about what to do, the girl remembered that once, when Martin loved her, he had given her a diamond ring. She still had it on her. Unfolding the jewelry on her finger, Mikelina began to scratch the tape with it, and after a little more than an hour, she managed to get free. With an incredible effort to tear the box and tear the ground, the girl was almost free. After gathering a little more strength, she moved the trunk of the tree with which her grave was piled on top and was finally on the surface. Her tormentors were no longer here. She feared that Martin might still be around, but fear for the child drove her forward. Mikelina managed to get to the road and stop the car. After her story, the driver immediately called the police. At trial, Martin claimed he only wanted to scare his cohabitant, but the court did not believe him. In January 2012, 26-year-old Martin Kasperczak was sentenced to 20 years in prison. His friend, Patrick Boris, was sent to prison for 4.5 years for complicity, while Mikelina Lewandowska lives and raises her son